Alrighty, folks, we are going to go back and do, frankly, my favorite series. This used to be a series that Millennial Mike did, but of course he went on and got a job at night, which really screws up my schedule. But the one and only Mark, the financial firefighter, has reached out and said, I want to do what he used to do. And what is that? He combs through the comments, takes out the spicy, the heated, the fun ones, and asks me to respond. So, Mark, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad we can do this. A lot of people have been wondering what happened to this series. So I'm trying to take over from Mike because I know he's busy. But
Yep.
yeah, I want to dig into some of the comments. And even I know you're trying to grow on X also. So I've kind
Sure.
of filtered through that and see what you're
Oh,
putting out
nice.
there. So let's start with, let's see, we got one from your US economy unraveling video. JT0007 says, another doom and gloom title equals Crash Bro.
So I think it's fair to say that over the last 90 days or so, my titles have become more negative, more doom, more whatever. I just have to admit, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? I am someone who overproduced content, right? 15,000 videos, 6 years trying to be tried and true to the title, to the thumbnail, to the video. And, it's been a slog. I decided about 90 days ago, after lots of coaching and prodding from people that I trust, that, you know what, if you leaned into the title and don't change the content, right? Don't become a Crash Bro. Do what you do. But if you lean into the title to get the clicks, you're going to get a new audience, but B, you're also going to show a different view. So yes, I think it is fair to say without question, my titles have gone negative on purpose with conscious decisions. I am not remiss that I would like more people to watch my stuff. However, none of my content, none of what I'm saying is different than what I would have said a year ago or 3 years ago or 5 years ago. So I will stand on the content, but the game is clear. All of you click, more of you click on negative. In fact, I did one just to prove it a week ago. I did 10 videos, 5 with negative headlines and 5 with positive headlines. I kid you not. The top 5 by numbers were negative, and the bottom 5 were positive, and it wasn't even close. The positive ones are clicked on 50 to 80% less. So don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, exactly. So your reply was got to get clicks. And they came back and said, just stop clowning the Crash Bros if you're going to
Oh,
be one. Literally
oh,
that simple.
yeah. So no, I will never stop clowning the Crash Bros because they're idiots, morons, and broke people that are just frankly nasty. My content's not a Crash Bro. My title will be, and I'm glad that you actually went deeper because if you know anything about me, I respond to each and every comment, but I never go back and engage after that. I get one response, and then I never see it again. So I had no clue this person responded. But yeah, no, I'm not changing. So if you don't like it, JT 107 or whatever it was, I'm not changing. This is it's always who I've been.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about your channels, right? You tell it both sides, and I think like that's what you and Anna Kelly did the other day, right? You had
Yeah.
2 videos, one from both perspectives. So I think that's what a lot of people respect. So we got Captain Caveman
I love these
1170.
names.
Yeah. So this one's a little bit longer. So this one says, this show is becoming more schizophrenic by the day. If your brain doesn't hurt by the end, congratulations. They spend half the time talking about looking forward to writing disrespectful offers, and the other half talking smack about the Crash Bros. LOL. Now he's going out of his way not to label Melody Wright a Crash sister when all she does is associate herself with the Crash brothers and give them hard data ammunition of their argument. A very convenient way to keep a leg on each horse, in my opinion.
Well, again, so it's a longer answer or long comment, so probably lots of pieces in that. So let's peel out the Melody Wright thing from a Crash Bro. I think it's fair to say that Melody Wright leans negative, right? She has a history of working in the financial crisis. She has access to data that I don't have. I think Melody Wright is somebody, oh, I know this. Melody Wright is somebody I follow because she has a data set and an experience that I don't have. She has highlighted over the years the areas for me to not get blinded by. I do think, and at least until today, her calls on price have been early at least, or wrong, depending on your, how you want to look at it, for example. But so that's point one. I think she's different than a crash bro because she has history and a track record that should be respected. A crash bro to me, let me be very clear. What is a crash bro? Or a crash sister, for that example, which again, Melody Wright is not. It is somebody who failed in the business. There's a crash bro who is a failed mortgage broker. There's a crash bro that is a failed real estate agent. There is a crash bro that is a failed underwriter. These people happen to get into social media content creation, are now trapped in a multi-year doom loop with an audience that's addicted to their negativity and stupidity. And that's how they pay their bills. So they can't change. When I call somebody a crash bro, it really means they're a failure at their career. And now they just produce doom and stupidity for clicks. So again, I do not believe that's Melody Wright, to be clear. I think she has a unique set of experience, a unique set of access to data that we should not be caught off guard. So the first part of that question, absolutely. It's kind of like the first one. The crash bros have taught me. Go look at the stats. The crash bros have taught me, right? That negative headlines leads to clicks. I would argue if you watch a failed mortgage broker, a failed underwriter, or a failed real estate agent and my content, it's not even in the same world. Because I'm telling you about the opportunity that's coming. They're just scaring you and telling you to keep your head in the sand. One of us is going to help you get rich. The other one's going to make you keep being a renter. You choose. I don't care, right? I'm going to keep being me. But yeah, I mean, the game is very clear. And believe me, I fought it for 5 years in 15,000 videos. I thought volume could overtake the system, and I was wrong. Negative titles, scary thumbnails, get clicks. But my videos are about what's really happening. It's down the middle. It's good and bad, and it's about opportunity. So I will refuse. I will viscerally react to somebody calling me a crash bro because that is unkind and not accurate.
Yeah, so kind of maybe wrapping all that up about the titles and the crash bros and everything, and like you're saying, you talk about how both sides of the economy and how you can win in this environment.
Yep.
But a lot of it is media driven.
Sure.
And so like Seawall 216 says, with the media, I don't expect to see any wins posted. And I think that's referring to, like you saying, how Trump has to show some wins and kind of he's losing the people in a sense. So what's your thoughts on that?
No, I one of the things that I do, again, the OGs like yourself know this, but for the rest of the audience, I spend somewhere between 60 and 90 minutes, 7 days a week reading about the news. And what is unique for me, I think, is I read both sides on purpose, right? Because again, I believe, frankly, here's the deal. I believe the wide right and the wide left are both wrong and idiots. But if I read both sides, given my 30 years of doing this, I can find the middle. I can find the opportunity. That's why I read both sides. I think most people get stuck in echo chambers. So, for example, in this case, yeah, I think the media, generally speaking, is not going to celebrate the wins. But you know who will? Trump, or was it called Trump Social or First?
Truth Social.
Truth Social.
Yeah.
I read that stuff because I want to see what's not being talked about. So it'll get out there, right? And back to my earlier conversation this week, I was hoping for some more consequential updates on some wins. We still have about 48 hours left, so maybe it's coming. But I didn't see a lot of movement this week thus far, right? We're recording this Thursday morning at 8 a.m., so it could all change, by Friday evening. But yeah, I actively seek both sides, and I try to find the middle, because the middle The middle is where most of us are, and the middle is where opportunity is. If you live on the far left or the far right, you're not making any money because that's not where the opportunity is. The opportunity is in the middle, in dealing with the noise, in finding out how you can, turn lemons into lemonade. So that's what I do, and I've been doing it for 30 years. Right? I was doing this when Bush won, and Bush two, and Clinton and Obama and Biden and Trump. It's the same shit I do every day, regardless of who's sitting in the Oval Office.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you kind of touched on it too. Like if people don't tune into your channel on a daily basis, they see a lot of different types of videos. So for this next one, John 009 M5L says, this channel is all over the place. Health, stocks, and real estate.
Well, you forgot travel, because I got travel in there too sometimes. Yeah, I'm just living my life out loud, man. I'm being open. I'm showing everything that's going on, and on purpose, right? If you're gonna find out who Mike Zuber is by what he puts out there, and I'm interested in real estate, stocks, and health and travel, right? You forgot travel, Big John, but yeah, I'm not gonna change. I think that's just who I am, and let's be clear on this last point. I love what I do. The moment it feels like work, I'm out. I don't need this. So yeah, I'm just going to keep being me. I don't, and who knows what next year will be, but I think real estate, investing, stocks, health, and travel, that's who I am in a nutshell, and I'm going to keep doing it on purpose.
So I got this next one from X. You reposted the process 313, and it says, my motto is do opposite of what most people do, because most people are lazy when it comes to questioning information. Even the Bible say wide is the road to destruction, and many people will travel it. I have a shirt that states, don't follow the masses because the M is silent. I live by that rule.
I love that. Yeah, I love that last statement. I think if you, there's all kinds of memes and whatnot. I believe Alex Hormozy probably says this best. It's never been easier to be part of the 1%. Right? When you think about what the average person, or in this case, the masses, are doing, they're overweight, they're dead broke, they're financially stressed, they're alcoholics. There's nothing good in following the masses, or asses if the M is silent. So I always stand on my principles, right? My circle is small. I would argue my circle is very small. I don't let a lot in, and that allows me to keep pretty balanced. I'm never too high or too low, which is a strength. It's certainly a strength when I was running sales teams, because I always operate. I didn't have the big spikes, right? I kind of operated even keel, and that just leads to better decisions. So yeah, I do the best I can to lead by example, kind of the earlier post: real estate, stocks, health, travel, because I want people to see what's possible. And I'm not shy. I tell everybody it takes 15 years. All the mistakes, the first 5 years suck. I'm not trying to create some overnight, sensation. It's not real. But yeah, I think you could do a lot by not being average. That's really important to me. I don't want people to follow, true followers of one rental at a time, to be average. I don't want you to be average in anything. I want you to be above average in wealth. I want you to be above average in health. I want you to have an above average relationship. I want all of these things. I want my audience to be above average in everything. And if I can lead by example where I can, I will. So yeah, I think that's important. And yeah, just don't settle for average. Average sucks.
Yeah, and you talked about it earlier, like how much time you spend, researching information and how many videos you put out. And I know the schedule that you're on, so we kind of squeeze this in.
Yep.
But this one, but you reposted on X might kind of relate to that, and even your daily buy box. But it says from Dan Go, society has become so sedentary that walking 20 minutes has become a form of exercise.
Oh, it's so hilarious. And again, this is back to health. Again, folks, if you sit a lot, just walking 20 minutes it really can be considered an exercise. And walking is important for me. Again, I'm on this year health journey, as you know, trying to get from folks. I mean, this again, I live out loud, 34.5% body fat as a 5'10", 53-year-old. That is not good. That is where my health started on January 1st. And I'm trying to go all the way from 34.5 to 9.9, right? Single digits as a 53-year-old. And walking was shockingly good for me because it's really wild, right? I used to measure myself in CrossFit workouts about how long it took me to get off the ground, right? If I was on the ground 5 minutes, that was a good workout. If I walked out of the gym in 30 seconds, it was a bad workout. It was that simple. Now I lost 20 pounds just by walking. I walked 15,000 steps for about 7 or 8 weeks every day. Nothing else changed. Nothing. And I lost 20 pounds. Dude, walking is, because again, it doesn't change your diet. It burns fat. It doesn't, go in and do all these other things that I don't know about that an intense workout does. Most of you watching this, if you walked 8,000 or 9 or 10,000, you would lose weight and do nothing else. It's shocking to me.
Are you rucking too now? I thought I saw you post
I am.
something.
Yeah, so I one of the interviews I did on health was with Jason Khalipa, CrossFit champion, and I used to be a part of his gym, and he was really big into rucking. So I have a 20-pound weight vest that I used to do Murph, and then I went out and bought a big Go Ruck. I think it's 60 pounds. I bought the heaviest one they have. It might be 50. I think it's 60, and I'll do that as well. So yeah, I'm adding intensity to my walks. And oh, by the way, I live in a very hilly area. So I not only rucking, but I'm rucking up and down hills. I ruck probably twice a week and walk at least 5 times a week. So yeah.
See, that's all the weight you lost, though. The weight you lost is you're just adding it back on to exercise.
Yeah, it's okay.
Weight.
Push my body. Yeah, push my body.
All right, so here on X again, you posted this with a question, kind of. It says, so someone posted, warning: Redfin Zillow go negative on U.S. housing. Many Florida realtors are telling their immediate family members to hold off home purchases and to expect 50% price drops in the next 12 to 18 months. And you basically said, anyone actually think realtors are saying 50% price drops? And does anyone actually think home prices will fall 50%?
Well, it was 50% in 12 to 18 months to finish that thought. So there's this, again, crash bro. This guy's a crash bro because he's talking nonsense. First and foremost, he's talking about a specific city or market, but making national claims. Crash bro. Second, he's talking about a 50% decline in 18 months, which has historically never, ever, 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 ever happened, or even close. Right? If you want to talk about the largest decline in 18 months, I bet you it's like 15 or 16%. So to think it's going to go down 3x that is somewhere between insane and stupidity. It's just not possible. It's mathematically not possible. You want to know what would happen if the market even got close to that? Oh my God, the amount of helicopter money. So again, stupid. And then to claim you're a real estate agent just so you get more cachet when you're nothing but a crash bro is retarded, right? Are you really think you're going to sell more homes by telling people you're going to go down? It's just, crash bros are bad people. They're just bad people. And unfortunately, as I have learned, doom equals clicks. And again, failed mortgage broker, failed real estate agent, failed underwriter. They pay their mortgage. They feed their family by producing daily doom. Don't hate the game, don't hate the player, hate the game. So I respect them. I could not imagine living in a negative soup. Can you imagine what their followers are like? Oh, this, that, other. I mean, you just live in a world of negativity. It would crush my soul to live in that negativity soup for a day, let alone 4 years. Oh my God.
All right, I think we can squeeze in maybe 3 more. So this one will be maybe your final thought on something you reposted on X from Kevin Carpenter. So some Warren Buffett. If you can detach yourself temperamentally from the crowd, you'll get very rich. You don't have to be very bright. It doesn't take brains, it takes temperament.
Yeah, this is really a twofold one for me. It goes back to the fact that why I'm a horrible stock market investor, because I'm emotional. I'm even emotional today, right? Two quick examples. Timmy Waltz made a clown of Tesla. So what did I do? I went out and bought Tesla, something I said I would never do, just because I wanted to stick a middle finger to Timmy Waltz, who I thought was being a clown. Total emotional purchase. But hey, I pulled out my phone. I bought some stock. Then Nike, went out and bought some Nike because I thought Vietnam would be the first, country to kind of strike up a deal. And I thought they were getting, whacked for no reason. And I'm just an emotional investor, AKA shitty temperament. However, real estate, I am perfect for real estate. Do the work, consistent, follow the process, all of that. So you got to know your temperament. And mine is far more real estate than stocks. I will always, always, always be a shitty stock investor. But, I'm above average real estate investor, and that's okay.
All right, so now we got one. This is going back to YouTube. Just some positive thoughts, maybe to end this up with. So,
thank you.
From Peter Bedford 2610, it just says, Mr. Zuber, have you been on any river cruises? I'm thinking about it, and I think you're somewhat of a cruise enthusiast.
Yeah, I love cruises. I think there are, if you have the money to go do them, there's lots of parts of the world that are amazing to see. We have done a river cruise. We did one in Germany, and I think we did one in Germany. It was so it was if you want to know about river cruise, you got to have some money, right? It's 100-person boat, very slow. It was not for us. We're not, I hope this doesn't come off bad, but we're not old enough for river cruises, right? We're in our early 50s. We still are vibrant. We still want to go be active. And a river cruise is just slow and plodding, and there's not enough to do on the boat because, again, it's a river cruise, right? There's no gym, no casino, no shows. They are amazing if you can walk like a mile and that's enough for you. River cruises are fine, but frankly, I hopefully won't do another river cruise for 30 years. Maybe when I'm 80. So.
All right, so final one is just kind of a clarification.
Sorry. I pulled out my mic.
My
headphones. That was on me. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So final one, just a clarification. So this is DIY Investor Guy. It says, so you've been saying 67 pennies a day. But I think he's talking about the school community. So it says, But if my math is correct, $20 per month is $240 divided by 365 days equals 0.6575. So rounded up, it's actually 66 cents per day. He's saying the school costs.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely right mathematically. I chose to break it down to a 30-day monthly, which is not accurate, right? And oh, by the way, I like to be higher than lower, right? I would feel terrible telling somebody it's 65 cents a day when it's really 66. So by saying it's 67, again, I'm kind of under promise, over deliver. So yeah, the math is right. It's really 66 cents a day, but I won't change. I'll keep calling it 67 cents. So people get a better deal than they expect.
Yep. Either way, it's a great deal. I highly recommend anyone out there to check out the school community. And I think you touched on it the other day. MJ Martiz joined and he canceled right there to, he probably just came to check it out, see if it's going to be something, but you're not committed. So come join us. It's a lot of fun there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's it for, I think maybe you're blocking or filtering out a lot of these boomers. I don't see as much as I used to.
Don't worry. They'll come back. Don't worry.
Well, thanks for doing it. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to pick this back up.
No, I love it. And again, I want to thank you. Right? This takes work and effort on your side outside of what you normally do. So the audience should appreciate it. Where can they follow you?
Financial Firefighter, YouTube. I need one more subscriber for 800. So someone out there,
do him a favor. Do him a solid.
Yep. And X, Instagram, I'm all over. Yeah.
There you go. One more time. What's the YouTube channel?
Financial Firefighter.
There you go. Thanks, buddy.